Yeah, thank you very much. It was awesome. Yeah, definitely. Since I've been here, I think even before, we've had a tough time with Carolina, so kind of, breaking the curse a little bit was definitely a good way.
You personally as well, though, had a great day. I mean, batting down passes, put the record. You know early in a game that you're going to have a good day?
No, I mean, sometimes it comes to you earlier through it. I mean, I think luckily I made a couple tackles early, so that kind of, gives you some momentum. But, yeah, I think we do a good job of not riding the roller coaster. Sometimes it's slow in the first half, pick it up. So you just got to kind of focus on the next play. And I think that's a big thing for guys coming into the league is, not overthinking it. So, yeah.
Did you know what was going on with JJ during the end of last week, and how much of a lift was it to have him out there yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, it's, a very personal situation for him, so I don't know how much, but, the fact that he was able to kind of do what he did, I think speaks volumes about the type of person and player he is, and, obviously, just hoping for the best, and, it sounds like everything's going pretty well, so.
Zach, the two of you guys with the batted down passes, can you sense the frustration growing from their quarterback when that's happening?
Yeah, I think that was definitely kind of part of the game plan, was just trying to affect the game, whatever way we can. I think, balls come out quick. That's kind of how they go. They either run it, they do a lot of quick game stuff, so, you might not get there, but if you get your hands up, kind of affect the throws, and, I mean, it works. So, definitely good to have that in our back pocket.
As a pass rush group, based on how y'all looked yesterday, do you think you guys are just starting to figure it out now compared to how y'all looked, at the start of the season?
Yeah, I think, kind of there hasn't really been too big of a difference between week one and now. I think, we've been winning. It's just a matter of us getting there, and, luckily they kind of held on to the ball a little bit longer, or we got there faster. I'm just going to watch the film after this. So, good day to build off of. I mean, I think we definitely have a lot more in the tank.
You guys have seen Hurts before a couple of years ago. How much has he changed as a quarterback, and what kind of challenge are you guys having to face in terms of the pass rush with a guy like that?
Yeah, I think a guy like that is definitely, probably the hardest for, pass rush group to go against, just because he can, affect the game so many ways, and obviously he's grown so much. I think we were his second career start or something like that when we played him, so seeing what he's doing now, I mean, he's an incredible player, so it's definitely a challenge, but again, it's, that's why you play football. We're competitive, and, we're excited for that challenge.
When we talked to Vance about you and how you've gotten better over the last few years, he talks about every time how much stronger you've gotten just physically. What does that look like in football? Did you add 50 pounds to your bench? I mean, what do you work on to get NFL strong, I guess?
Yeah, I think it's kind of, a lot of guys in the off season, you hear the stories golf and stuff like I was, kind of the past two off seasons, really, I was, generally working basically 10-hour days in the off season, working out, 2 workouts, 3 workouts a day, and, kind of honing in on everything. And, I've just had some really great people in my corner that kind of push me and get me there. And, especially this past off season, dealing with the rehab on top of, wanting to make improvements, was definitely, a challenge. But, guys like Chad in there, definitely Buddy, Evan, Mark, they helped out a lot, and I'm just happy it's paying off. It's nice to see the results.
Zach, did you feel the pass rush was improved yesterday, and then how do you rate or kind of explain your sack celebration?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's nice to see the kind of the production. It's getting there. I mean, you can talk about ball coming out fast or winning, hits, hurries, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you're going for sacks, and I think we got 2 of those. And again, like I said, we definitely have a lot more in the tank, and we can definitely I think work towards 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sack games.
You were in the backfield just over 2 seconds. Were you surprised how quick you get to Baker?
I'm not gonna lie, I did think it was a screen on that one, so I almost kind of ran the other way, but luckily, he just held it. But yeah, just it was definitely a good one.
In the offseason, we learned, how old you were last year, right? I mean, so how much are you just enjoying it right now, and how much upside do you still think you have in your game?
Yeah, no, I definitely, no, easily best I've ever felt. Kind of it all came together physically, and then, yeah, I mean, I've kind of treated, the first few weeks, kind of this was like kind of like preseason. Didn't play a lot in the preseason at all, so kind of just getting back into it, getting used to it, and body feels good. Seeing it, just getting used to the schedule, everything like that. So hopefully, we just keep going up and up.
You were talking about the 10-hour off-season days and everything. What does that look like? What do you do for 10 hours? Can you lift weights for 10 hours? Do you run? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, you break it up, lift, run, watch film, eat, recover, lift again. So, we were going basically 6 days a week, Sundays off, and, kind of mixing yoga, pool work, everything like that. And it's easy to stay busy when you also have to rehab, the ankle too. So, but yeah, no, it definitely, the great thing about it was it kind of always was, a steady progression. There was no setbacks. There was no, I'm bored with this. It was, we had a goal in mind, and, we turned a 9-month recovery to a 6-month recovery, and we were able to, to get here.
How important was it in keeping McCaffrey in check yesterday, and what was the key to doing that from the defensive side?
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely, the focus of the game plan, and, you could say what you will about him. I think he's a top 3 back in the NFL. I really, you turn on the tape, and he really can do it all, and it's not just, a speed guy. He can, run in between the tackles, everything like that, and, we just had guys flying to the ball, kind of pursued, and, gap sound, everyone did their job, so that definitely helps.
Zach, you're 4 games in now, 2-2. Could have been worse, could have been better. How you feeling about being 2-2 at this point?
Yeah, it's kind of good, not great, obviously. I think the fact that, we haven't played anywhere near to our potential, but we're not, kind of, the sky's falling. It's not like we're 0-4 or something like that, So obviously, there's definitely room for improvement. I think we can be better. And, it's just something that we're going to keep working towards. And, again, these things kind of come. You can't ride the roller coaster.
Zach, are you watching kickoff? Did you know, kicked off and then went down and made that tackle?
I didn't know until like the third kick or whatever, the third time he kicked off, that he was our kicker. Because I kept on like, Prater usually kicks these out the end zone. And I'm like, why is he kicking it to the 20? But it worked. So but yeah.
How many guys think are jealous? They'd like a chance at kicking off, or you think, no, thanks?
I mean, yeah, if Eno's our next best option, no offense. I mean, I don't think we got a lot of guys that, are right for that role. So we'll see what works. But
How do you think you guys can get right at home? So much success on the road the last year and a half, 10-1. Can you tell any difference between how you play on the road and State Farm?
yeah, I feel like that's like the magic question. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. It's just coincidence probably. So we'll figure it out. I mean, we got a great atmosphere, great stadium, so the energy's always there. So hopefully we right that wrong this week.
They're the only undefeated team in the league. That was this team for many weeks last year. Any extra motivation maybe to hand them their first loss?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice, but I think just kind of going into the game, NFC game. And, again, they're a great team, so I think that's just enough of a challenge and motivation in itself. The records, at this point, you can't really, judge anything too much.
Thanks,
Good.
Zach.
Awesome. Thank you.
So have you reached out to Justin Reed at all?
I have not. I did see his video of his 57-yarder.
Zach was just in here, and he was a pretty hard harsh critic for your kicks landing at the 20. Have you heard from your teammates about how you were kicking last night?
I think there was a lot of good and bad. Not bad, I should say, but there was a lot of people making fun of the whole thing, and just the fact that I was able to go out there and get the tackle. I think a lot of people were actually pumped up about it.
You're on kickoff coverage anyways, right?
I at times do play kickoff coverage, yes, sir.
So, like, when you were kicking off, was your intent the whole time, I'm going to go down and get this?
No, so I think Coach Rogers was saying that more so to be a safety, I'm going to just sit back. But then I was just flowing downfield, and I just seen a void open up, and I was like, I got to take it. And so it just ended up working out.
Yeah, that tackle, you were like a missile there. How much did that pump you up?
It got me going a little bit. It wasn't the greatest hit that I thought I could hit. So the fact that the only thing that was going through my mind was get the returner down. I think the defense was a little bit more fired up than me. They came on the field, they were ready to go. Marcus Golden was hugging me and jumping along with me, which kind of got me going as well.
When did you have an idea that you might be needed in that regard?
It was Friday. When we didn't know what was going on with Prater and how much he could go. And so it was just kind of just be ready, stand by, and be ready.
Did Matt say anything to you after the game?
After the game, he was telling me great job, and he was actually apologizing to me for making me or giving me the opportunity to go out there. But I was actually thanking him. I had a lot of fun, and so Prater was very congratulated about that.
Was there any circumstances that you guys talked about where you might have tried a extra point or field goal?
No, that wasn't the case. I think he was good enough to kick field goals. It was just the kickoffs where it was like, let's not even try to put any other pressure on him.
When was the last time you kicked in a game?
Last time I kicked in the game would probably be my senior year. And I think I probably ran down and made the tackle on that one as well. In high school, yes, sir.
So you had a pretty nice day offensively in some limited snaps, but you played pretty well. So are you like a football Watani now, or what's
I don't know. I'm just, I guess, really just going out there and doing whatever is asked of me to the best of my abilities.
You know, I'm a soccer fanatic.
I am. I grew up playing soccer. Soccer was actually my first sport. I played all the way to my sophomore year of high school before I stopped and really focused on football alone.
How long have you been the emergency kicker, and did you like raise your hand at some point? Say,
No, I think just like during camp and little other instances, I would be like, "Hey, coach, can I kick today?" I just jokingly say that around, and they gave me a few shots. I think it was my last season, and so I guess I made the most of it and just got a little bit of confidence in them, and I was able to go out there and do that.
Who was your competition for backup kicker? Did you beat out Will?
It was Will Hernandez. That was the sawed-off competition, and so we had a little back and forth at camp this season, and I guess, I don't know, it happened, but I don't know. Was that before or after he was out of the game? So I don't know. He could have probably still been the number 2.
Your second kick was pretty good.
Yeah. So with that, it was more so put in the air. We knew that we were going against the wind. So we knew it was probably going to really stay in play, and so it was just, like I said, getting back there and trying to get the returner down as fast as possible.
How did you feel after the first kick?
After the first one, I felt really good, actually. Like I said, I guess my adrenaline was going, and I felt happy, and it was really fun, actually, to go down there and do that.
You have robbed us of seeing Will Hernandez do kickoffs.
I don't think he may have an opportunity. We may have to go back to the drawing boards and work out a little bit more of a competition.
Did you practice at all during the week?
During the week, it was just that Friday after practice where I kicked a few.
And what's the feeling? And when you're doing it in practice, it's just practice. But then when you get out there actually in the game, did it feel different, or did you just have to put it out of your mind?
It was kind of out of my mind. It was something I felt like I've done before, and it wasn't new, and I've been here. Definitely.
the other part of your job? I mean, you guys as a group ran the ball pretty well yesterday. Obviously, being in the game and not being far behind helps that. Mm-hmm. But do you feel like the running game as a collective is getting to a point where you guys need it to be?
Definitely, and I feel like that comes from playing complementary football. Defense helping the offense and offense helping the defense. We knew the big thing about this team was physicality, and we knew running the ball is one way that we've got to be physical and show that. And so it was kind of just like a tone setter, actually.
What position in soccer did you play?
I was a striker forward. I love scoring goals.
And what's the difference between kicking a football and a a soccer ball? Like, is there muscle memory there?
I wouldn't say muscle memory. I would say, just placement on the foot is the biggest thing. You would go more laces down with kicking a football. I guess with a soccer ball, it's more the inside of your foot that you would use.
Did you consider getting a kicker shoe?
I did have my soccer cleats. I brought my soccer cleats with me. I'm a huge Copa guy, and so the equipment staff made sure that I was ready and prepared for that.
Did you look at Twitter at all and see just like the comments and stuff from ASU fans, and just what is the support like to see, the Sun Devil fans just pumping you up?
Yeah. There was a lot of mentions, and it was a great feeling. Just because just going back to camp, just family, just myself, and also those ASU fans that believed in me and know that what I've got capable of, and so that definitely is a great feeling, just having their support with me.
Did you feel that the coverage teams were kind of maybe giving that little extra just to make sure they got down there, depending on what the kick went?
I would hope so. I definitely would hope so.
Thanks, Eno.
Yes, sir. Oh.